Okay, locked down in Costa Rica. Quarantine day like number 80 or something. Quarantine here is actually pretty nice. We are going to go to the hardware store today and we're going to buy a bunch of dirt and start the process of building new greenhouses. Because we only have red dirt here in Costa Rica, it's not that nutrient filled. It's nice to pack leaves, organic dirt around the yard when you're planting new things. So we're going to be planting a bunch of corn, ginger, we've got a bunch of sweet potatoes, yucca, and a few other things that are going to be going in. So building a few greenhouses, and this is just step number one, which is going to get dirt and starting to build our list of tools and things that we need, like saran and all this. It's going to take us a few days to probably do it, and I'm going to have to wait for Jesus, my gardener's help, to bring some of it together. So we'll try to record that process in a few videos of, I guess, what we'll just call quarantine in Costa Rica.
Agents are required to work together or to compete to achieve a desired goal, and with lower employment, that will result in debt defaults or restructuring. Growth at any cost to society.
We went to go get dirt for the greenhouse and all the stuff we need for the greenhouse, and decided because we can't fit 20 bags of dirt in the back of the truck, they're just going to deliver it themselves. So instead we picked up a hatchet, some like hanging potters for upstairs, and a few other things. We'll make the house look extra nice because we're going to be spending some time here.
Even a free market economy and capitalism, but at the same time doesn't realize that free market capitalism is not what is happening today.
You know, Costa Rica's been a fantastic country to be in lockdown for this. Yeah! Good community here. The government locked down early. We only have 600 cases, and out of that 5 deaths from the virus itself. Now this is good because it's mitigating risk in a country like Costa Rica, who's first off based around tourism, knows that their healthcare system would not be able to handle the massive influx of people getting sick. They stopped incoming flights, they locked down their borders on March 16th, and they've been able to keep this low movement down through, okay, well on these days these license plates can travel. The beaches are all permanently closed, although it'd be very hard to close, let's say like this river that we're gonna drive through here. There's no closing that. Like I'm gonna drive through the river to get home so that I can skip, I mean, well, it's actually just a nicer drive, but this nice drive through the jungle river, like there's no cops stopping that, right? So there's a certain amount of like non-essential travel you can get away with, whereas I've seen in other countries they're like flying helicopters out to tell people not to be camping. This is probably the stupidest thing that the government could do, because we know that like healthier living is going to always be to your benefit, right? So getting out into nature, doing stuff like swimming in the river or camping is actually going to be beneficial for the health and well-being of your society, yet for some reason that doesn't seem to be advocated. Maybe even jump in the river. I've got ice cream in the truck there, that's not going to work. See, he's even cleaning his bike. He knows what's up. This is a beautiful spot down here. So we picked up a few projects. We're gonna have to delay on building the greenhouse right away because getting all that dirt up at once and all those tubes, it just makes sense to hire a truck to bring it up instead of me do it. And it gives them more work, right? Be a helpful part of your community. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around. I haven't finished these columns. It's been 6 years here and I haven't finished these columns. So finally I'm gonna finish the columns in the bedroom. They go all the way around. So spend a little bit of time doing that. There's also some chairs and stuff that we were working on. I think what the point of this is being locked down in Costa Rica at home for me, this is home, is a real incentive to finish things. Like here, see the stairs, no railing? I finished the house with no railing and I never really decided to put a railing. I was like, oh, it's done like it is. But now that I have all this extra time just being at home, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start building again. Like there's a bunch of like broken glass mosaic tile we did down at the guest cabin, and I just kind of paused on a lot of those artistic projects around the house. But now that I'm here, I'm going to be kind of sharing the gardening process, and what I want to like instill in this type of vlog is the journey of investing, and really breaking our minds and hearts open to the idea of what value is and how value is created for ourselves and for the community at large. And that's the direction of the channel that I would like to really keep a sweet line down the center. So a lot of what we're going to do here is try to bounce around that idea as much as possible. I don't exactly know what that means because I'm still discovering it as we go. Like, I'm a student in this as much as I can be a teacher. So what I'm basically getting around the flavors of doing is interpreting data that I see and being able to share something that might be poignant for you guys to use in your coming futures. I think what we should talk about now is preparing for what the next 18 months is going to look like and what we can do. Now, this is kind of an ever-changing dialogue, but with oil going at below $0 futures for storage, this has huge implications on the way we build our societies moving forward. I think long-term incentivized tourism to places like Costa Rica, where you can have a greenhouse and a farm and a fair chunk of land for not that expensive, is going to increase. I think a lot more people are going to be looking for more rural areas to build and grow. These are the types of investments that I think are important on the kind of the base level. Is there food? Is there water? Is it producing some type of agriculture? The next is actually going to remain in tech. I don't think a lot of people are prepared for where the tech world is going. But imagining what comes next is I think a strong ability to understand what deflation is. So I'm going to try to weave in this aspect of like, okay, here's gardening, here's a little bit of home, repair, and kind of philosophical ranting about how we invest into wealth in the long term. I know it might appear convoluted in today's episode, but I promise this is going to make more and more sense as the years go on. The main structure now for being quarantined anywhere is, are you being productive, and are you being productive for the future that is to come instead of the future that was? There's no going back to like regular jobs the way we knew it. Gone. They're gone. You have to respect that that's gone. We need to start preparing for these scenarios which are at hand with us, which is that this is going to rely on us working together. It's going to rely on us overcoming these kind of one-off differences that we see between each other. Like really, we need to realize that we're all one human species and kind of use that to our advantage, right? And not get stuck off into this divisive game of different class creeds. Everyone needs to band together and work together to bring the most fluent ideas to help this world move forward, because we're all in a fairly interesting predicament together. I think everyone's gonna, like, we're all huddling back in our corners, like all the Costa Rica, like no more travel in and out. Same with Costa Rica. Everyone's on lockdown around the world. Or it's like we're having a huddle. We're having huddles with our teams right now, and we're realizing that the work that needs to be done is going to take everybody. So we need everybody focusing on bringing solutions to the table at every corner. And this is going to, again, help restructure what's valuable to us as a human species. I've said this a few times before, and I think you've heard this thought process. If you were in the desert and you were starving, dehydrated, and in the shade, out in the sun, you're like walking around, and I show up and I've got a bunch of gold, Bitcoin, silver, and I've got water, food, and shade on this hand. I know which one you're going to take. This is the value of nature itself, and we've forgotten that. This is likely going to be a rebalancing of that. So remembering how important food, community, shade, support is, that's where the real value is going to come out of these next few years. Learn how to grow and adapt and build in any part of the infrastructure, especially in the technological side of things, and you will flourish. There are new platforms and legends of like titans of business that will come from this. So figure out where you want to be positioned and move forward. Hopefully that makes sense. This is another long-winded rant with Tio from the Arcane Bear. Thank you all for joining us today. It's a beautiful day out here in the jungle. We will be doing more gardening and random talks about stuff. We've got a bunch of great podcasts lined up for you guys here in the future as well, helping ignite these conversations where other people have more talented backgrounds to help provide more value to you guys in what we can do to build the future ahead of us, because it's going to take all of our thoughts. And leave your comments down below for anything that you'd like to see. What would the future be if you could decide what it looked like? What kind of utopia would it be? Is there free energy for everybody? And if so, does that mean we just give everything away? Anyways, this is Teal with the Arcane. We're signing off for the rest of the day. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys again on the other side.